Welcome to a quick journey through time, exploring the fascinating history of Singapore. Nestled north of the equator, Singapore is an island country and city-state that boasts an incredible geographical composition. It's more than just one island, in fact. It is a constellation of one main island and 63 satellite islands and islets, each with its own unique charm. This island city-state, positioned off the southern tip of the Malay Peninsula, is a melting pot of cultures, as reflected in its 4 official languages: English, Malay, Mandarin, and Tamil. Despite its high population density, Singapore strikes an impressive balance with nature. Thanks to meticulous urban planning, green and recreational spaces are woven into the city's fabric, providing a respite from the urban bustle. From an island off the southern tip of the Malay Peninsula, Singapore has grown into a powerhouse of the world. Our story begins at least 800 years ago, long before the modern city we see today. At this point in time, Singapore was known by different names, including Singapura, meaning Lion City, and Temasek, signifying Sea Town. These names give us a glimpse into the city's deep-rooted connection with nature and the sea, a bond that remains to this day. The early inhabitants of this island were likely indigenous Malays, living in simple settlements and sustaining on fishing and trade. These people were part of a greater maritime empire, blending the influences of Malay, Chinese, Indian, and Indonesian cultures. This rich tapestry of influences has shaped the unique cultural heritage of the city-state. While the details of this early period may be shrouded in mystery, one thing is clear. Even then, Singapore was a bustling port, a melting pot of cultures, and a place that attracted traders from far and wide. This early period laid the groundwork for what was to come. Fast forward to the 19th century, Singapore's destiny took a significant turn. As the world was rapidly changing, so too was the fate of this humble island city-state. The arrival of the British in 1819 marked a pivotal chapter in Singapore's history. Sir Stamford Raffles, an ambitious British statesman, saw the strategic potential of Singapore's location and established it as a British trading post. This move was not just a game-changer for the British Empire, but it also set Singapore on a path of rapid transformation. Let's now jump ahead to 1867. Singapore was officially incorporated into the British Empire's Straits Settlements, alongside Penang and Malacca. This wasn't merely a change in administrative status, it was a significant shift in Singapore's role on the global stage. As part of the Straits Settlements, Singapore became an important port and an international hub for trade and commerce. Under British rule, Singapore blossomed. The island's economy boomed, and its population multiplied. The British implemented urban planning, constructing roads, buildings, and other infrastructure. They also instituted a system of law and order, bringing stability to the island. Moreover, English was introduced as the language of administration, a legacy that remains to this day. However, British rule was not without its challenges. Economic disparity grew, and social unrest festered. Despite these issues, the British period was undeniably transformative for Singapore, shaping its economic, political, and cultural landscapes. British rule greatly influenced Singapore's trajectory, but even greater challenges were on the horizon. As the world plunged into the chaos of World War II, Singapore found itself in the crosshairs. Singapore, the flourishing island city-state, was not spared the horrors of the Second World War. The year was 1942, when the Japanese forces swept down the Malay Peninsula, marking the start of a dark chapter in Singapore's history. This period, known as the Japanese occupation, lasted for 3.5 tumultuous years. The occupation was harsh and brutal. The people of Singapore, regardless of ethnicity or social standing, faced severe hardships under the Japanese military rule. The economy was crippled, food and essentials were scarce, and the fear of the infamous Kempeitai, the Japanese secret police, was a constant shadow. Sionanto, or Light of the South, was what the Japanese renamed Singapore, symbolizing their intention to make it a beacon of their envisioned East Asia co-prosperity sphere. Yet the reality was far from this idealistic projection. Instead, it was a time of severe repression, forced labor, and widespread fear. But even in these trying times, the spirit of the people of Singapore was not extinguished. They found ways to survive, to resist, and to hold on to hope. Stories of courage and resilience emerged from this period, testament to the indomitable spirit of the Singaporean people. Eventually, the tide of war turned. The Japanese surrender in 1945 marked the end of World War II and the occupation of Singapore. The British returned, but the landscape had changed. The war had exposed the vulnerabilities of British rule and ignited a desire for self-governance among the people of Singapore. The war left deep scars but also a resolve for self-governance. Their experiences during the occupation had irrevocably shaped their collective consciousness, setting the stage for a new chapter in Singapore's history. The post-war era was a time of great change and determination for Singapore. Emerging from the shadow of occupation, the island nation embarked on a journey towards self-governance. In the year 1959, Singapore saw a significant milestone. It gained self-governance. This was a major step on the path to independence, a testament to the resilience and determination of the people of Singapore. However, the road to independence was far from straightforward. In 1963, Singapore made the decision to merge with Malaysia. This union was seen as a potential solution to economic and racial tensions. But, like many marriages of convenience, this one was fraught with its own set of challenges. The cultural, economic and political differences between Singapore and Malaysia soon became apparent. These differences led to widespread social unrest and political tension. Just 2 years later, in 1965, Singapore faced yet another turning point. The island was expelled from the Federation of Malaysia. What could have been seen as a setback turned into an opportunity. This expulsion marked the birth of Singapore as an independent nation. It was a moment of mixed emotions, a time of uncertainty, but also a time of hope. The people of Singapore, united in their resolve, were ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. In the face of adversity, Singapore transformed its challenges into strength. The island nation, despite its small size and lack of natural resources, began to chart its own course. It was a course towards prosperity, stability, and progress. Independence brought new challenges, but Singapore was more than ready. The road to independence was not easy, but it was a journey that shaped the nation's history and paved the way for the vibrant, thriving Singapore we know today. In the years following its independence, Singapore underwent a remarkable transformation. Despite its lack of natural resources, this city-state refused to be defined by limitations. Instead, it embraced the challenge and embarked on a journey of rapid development, charting its course towards becoming one of the 4 Asian tigers. This title, symbolic of the strength and vitality of a tiger, is bestowed upon economies that have experienced rapid industrialization and maintained exceptionally high growth rates. Singapore, alongside Hong Kong, South Korea, and Taiwan, earned this accolade, and it's no small feat. Singapore's growth story is particularly impressive because it was built on the foundation of its people's resilience, forward-thinking policies, and a relentless pursuit of excellence. The city-state transformed itself from a developing nation into a high-income economy, all within a single generation. Today, Singapore stands tall as a major global hub. Its strategic location has made it a pivotal point in the world of aviation, connecting all corners of the globe. The financial sector thrives here, with skyscrapers housing international banks and financial institutions, making Singapore a significant player in global finance. Singapore's maritime sector is another feather in its cap. The city-state's port is one of the busiest in the world, serving as a critical link in international trade routes. And let's not forget about Singapore's world-class infrastructure, education, healthcare, and quality of life. It's a testament to the city-state's commitment to creating a thriving environment for its residents, further cementing its status as a global powerhouse. From a small trading post to a global powerhouse, Singapore's journey is truly inspiring.